I'm Virginia Rutter. I'm a sociology professor here. There are at least 2,000 students and professors who aren't here who also participated in our teach-in. We had 90 professors, 145 courses, over 200 class meetings in over 33 different fields of study in this teach-in. We even got other colleges. We can all be nerds and celebrate like how cool that is, right? That's what I love about this. We got other colleges involved, Bridgewater State, Salem State, Mass Art, Westfield State. When they heard about what we were doing, they started, I was telling some people in a meeting, just giving them news, and they started taking notes, and they wanted to do what we were going to do. And right now, at this very moment, at those other schools, they are doing what we are doing. They did what we did last week. So what is it that we're doing today? In a few minutes, we'll be getting into small group activities to share and report back in dialogue about what everybody did at the teach-in. But first, a little kinetic data. If you had 3 or more classes that were in the teach-in, or if you taught 3 or more classes in the teach-in, can you stand up? Oh, come on. I know, yeah. You had 3 or more. If you had 2 or more classes in the teach-in, can you stand up? 2 or more? We got a lot more people standing. So check that out. That was happening. That was you. If you had 1 class in the teach-in, can you stand up? Okay. So those are all the people in this room. Now, if you were not in any of the classes but you're here, can you stand up too? And give yourselves a hand. Okay, about this film, some of you got to see the 25-minute documentary, and Avery Cook, the documentarian, will tell you exactly how to find that online. Avery Cook is a ComArts class of 2016 FSU student, and she created this film. The film helps explain why I and my colleagues, Xavier Guadalupe Diaz, Lena Rincon, and Patricia Sanchez-Connolly, got this whole thing started. Avery asked a simple question in her documentary. What have you done in your classes that relates to Black Lives Matter? If you guys saw my answers, you saw that I had some answers. If you've been in my classes, I had some answers, but they weren't good enough. And I'm not that hard a grader, but I gave myself a pretty low grade on that. And so I said, come on, we can do better. And that's what we're doing. So Avery and others from the Center for Inclusive Excellence really spurred me on to get this project going. Thank you, Avery. Now I'm going to introduce Avery Cook and also sociology professor Xavier Guadalupe Diaz.
Hi, I'm Avery. For a lot of times you've heard my name. Hopefully everyone has heard my name, Avery.
Great. Hey, Xavier Guadalupe Diaz in sociology. Great. You guys look amazing up here. All right, so I'm here to give you a little bit of background about Black Lives Matter. So the hashtag Black Lives Matter started as a social media post by Alicia Garza in 2012 after the murder of Trayvon Martin was acquitted for his crime. Shortly after, Garza's friends and co-founders, Patrice Cullors and Opal Tometi, utilized the hashtag Black Lives Matter in response to the post. As they describe the movement, they explain that BLM is an ideological and political intervention in a world where Black lives are systemically and intentionally targeted for demise. It's an affirmation of Black folks' contributions to this society, their humanity, and their resilience in the face of deadly oppression. Rooted in the experiences of Black people in this country who actively resist dehumanization, Black Lives Matter is a call to action and a response to virulent anti-Black racism that permeates our society. So what we're here for today, this movement, what you all are doing, what you all participated in, makes a radical statement in a world that has historically and continues to denigrate, oppress, and marginalize Black and brown communities across the country. What today is about is joining in and saying that yes, indeed, Black lives do matter, even in a system that tells us otherwise.
And I'm just going to give you guys some details on what makes Black Lives Matter different than any other pro-Black movement that has passed by our eyes. Oh, and also I forgot to mention that if anyone wants to watch the video, it's on YouTube. It's called First Minute Programs, Co-Curricular Social Justice Dialogues. And you can look up my name, my YouTube channel, Avery Cook, A-V-A-R-I-E. So one of the main things about Black Lives Matter that makes it different was that it was started by 3 Black women, some of them part of the queer community, and it was started online with a hashtag. And it is straight from their website. I'm just gonna read this little piece that really kept in my head when I was thinking about the movement and learning about it. It says, "It goes beyond the narrow nationalism that can be prevalent within Black communities, which merely call on Black people to love Black, live Black, and buy Black, and keep stray Black men in the front of the movement, while our sisters, queer and trans and disabled folk take up roles in the background or not at all. Black Lives Matter affirms the lives of Black, queer and trans folks, disabled folks, Black undocumented folks, folks with records, women, and all Black lives along the gender spectrum. It centers those that have been marginalized within Black liberation movements. It is a tactic to rebuild the Black liberation movement." This means that it is obviously all-inclusive, and the Black Lives Matter movement stands for the Afro-Latino Blacks, as well as the mulatto Blacks, and I think that is a very important part of the movement, that it is. Well, Xavier didn't want me to say this, but can I drop the word intersectionality?
Almost forgot. How could I forget? To introduce my wonderful colleague, Professor Patricia Sanchez-Connolly in sociology.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the student facilitators who are mostly in the back. I have been very lucky and honored to work with the rest of my colleagues in this program, and I've been asked to conduct and to help facilitate a conversation and to be able to allow you everyone to share their experiences from last week. So the way in which we're going to do this will be in different steps, but the first thing that we're going to do in just a second is we're going to get into smaller groups. So if you have been in one of my classes, you know that I like to do a lot of discussions, and I just feel that sometimes it's easier to discuss in smaller groups. What I would ask is when I ask you to get into the smaller groups of about 5 people, and you're welcome to move around, I would like for you guys to look for folks whom you don't know, and also people who were not in your classes last week, okay? So those are 2 things to remember. So as you are thinking about sharing your experience, I want you to sort of keep in mind a few things. So we're gonna talk about 3 sort of rules to keep in mind as you discuss what you did last week and sort of what some of the things that you think about. I just remembered something. Does everyone have a blank index card? Okay, so we have to do that. All right, so the first thing, does everyone have a pen or something to write with? Pen or pencil, marker? If you don't, we have facilitators in the back. They're gonna be walking around and giving you a pencil or a pen.